when they are consuming your minds and your thoughts and your dreams, from the angels to the demons and to the mysteries unseen, there is no need to worry. There is no need for dread. It's just time to discuss the thing at the foot of the bed.
Good evening, everybody. And if you're just tuning in, you're listening live to UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network. You can listen to us on 105.3 out of Mississippi FM and 107.7 FM out of New Orleans, Louisiana, where we are broadcasting out of. And this, like I said, is the thing at the foot of the bed. Happy Thanksgiving to all our fellow Americans, brothers and sisters who are celebrating Thanksgiving, or anybody else that is. I'm Canadian, so we celebrated at the beginning of October. I keep saying, I know the stories behind Thanksgiving, but really, we should just be joining our brothers and sisters in the United States. I'm going to do all the housekeeping stuff. My name's Lorilei Potvin. Then I hand it over to David. I was trying to sneak in TikTok real quick. I'm almost ready, though. We'll get it done while we're talking here. Anyways, like I said, I'm Lorilei Potvin. I'm Canadian psychic medium, crystal Reiki energy healer, Akashic Records practitioner, spiritual teacher, and mentor. I'm a registered nurse. I am an animal communicator. I'm well-versed in near-death experiences, having had one as a toddler and studied them for over 40 years professionally and personally, as well as extremely well-versed in the paranormal. I always say I didn't go looking for it, it found me. And our last house we lived in was extremely haunted, so we've shared our story on the Travel Channel's Paranormal Survivor on season 4, episode 9, called Demonic Hauntings. And I am also a host of my own show here on UPRN on Monday nights. That's the show I have guests on, and it's from 6 to 8 p.m. It's called The Angel Rock. And this Monday, my guest, unfortunately, is not feeling well and had to reschedule for the new year. We are bucking into the middle of March, y'all. So we get to hang out. So you guys, if you're hanging around Monday night and you want something fun to do, we can do whatever you want, talk about whatever you want, and I'm looking forward to it. So it should be fun. So if you like what you see, please like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends and family. There really is something for everyone on this network. It's not just all UFO and paranormal. I believe we're almost up to 80, I wish, maybe one day, 40 live hosts, and we stream multiple live shows daily. And we're not streaming live. The archive server kicks into the last 25 plus years this network's been around and randomly plays something. So we really are streaming 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so yeah, tell everybody about it. Like, share, subscribe, and the more the merrier. Now, if you'd like to join the conversation, because if you know this show, The Thing at the Foot of the Bed and the Angel Rock are very audience participative. I saw that light. It just lit up, Dave.
I just said it. That one I did.
Okay. So if you can't see us, you can't join the conversation, because this network does broadcast to every country in the world, believe it or not. But 80% of our audience is audio only. So I always say, if you can't see us on the screen, you can't join the conversation. We would love to have you join the conversation. I always tell my guests for Monday nights, we have the best audience here on UPRN. The guests are very well, I guess, knowledgeable, very intelligent, ask great questions, very kind, very welcoming to new people that join the conversation. And we'd love to have you join us. Now, I was going to stop. I keep hearing in my head, TikTok. I will start that. We're live, but we're not live. Maybe I'll do that as we're talking. So anyways, 80%, like I said, is audio only. So how you're going to join the conversation, give me 1 sec, you guys. It'll take me 2 seconds to do this. I got it in before we went live, so you guys didn't have to hear all the ding, 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 dings. There, I think it's going. There we go. That's all I had to do. So how you join us, you can go over to my YouTube, which is the Angel Rock with Lorilei Potvin, to David's YouTube, which is the Spirit Experience. We are streaming on our network YouTube channel. We do have 2 of them, but we're streaming on the main one, which is UFO Paranormal and United Public Radio Network. And then we're streaming on my Instagram, which is the Angel Rock. Sometimes it plays for 2 hours, sometimes it doesn't, but it does not incorporate your comments on Instagram into the main chat here. So I will try and pop back and forth throughout the next 2 hours and try and have you join the conversation. Now, Facebook has not been playing nice. So we are streaming, I believe, to my Facebook page, which is Lorilei Potvin. It's public, so you don't have to be on my friends list. You can still join the conversation. We're streaming to David's, which is, I think you said David Hanzel Medium.
It's David Hanzel Medium, or Medium David Hanzel, and my group. And not my group.
No, you're on your main Facebook and you're on your YouTube. So those are the 2 pages. I think we're streaming. I think we are. Yeah, we are. They let me stream to Joe's page, which is UFO Undercover, because the other pages didn't want us to. The reason I mention that too is if we don't address you, if you don't see us seeing your comments or at least waving or saying hello, let us know, because Facebook has not been showing a lot of the comments. We're also streaming under my Rumble channel. I don't have any followers. Really, I think I got 82 followers or something. But hopefully we can grow that. I usually use it as a backup for the shows, but it does incorporate your comments. So if you are over on Rumble, say hi. We can see you over there, and we'd love to have you join us. And we are on TikTok under the Angel Rock. Dave, I don't know if you want to share that or not, but we are streaming live on TikTok. It's playing nice. Fingers crossed so far again, so they can see both of us, not just me staring there and listening to the conversation. So TikTok, I can't see your comments. That's the problem. But I think Michelle Wilfong, if she's here, she's my moderator over on TikTok. She's amazing. She's got a fantastic profile of her own on TikTok, so please follow her there. She also has a haunted apartment and posts daily multiple things that go on at her place. And she does a great job moderating. I think I remembered everywhere. So if you want to watch us on TV, the network does have a TV channel. It's Roku. You can go to the channel store and type in UFO space P as in paranormal. There's a drop down list, and we're the 3rd or 4th one down. You're looking for UFO space paranormal and United Public Radio, and that's how you can watch us. Did I remember everything? I think I remembered everything, Dave, so take it away.
Hey, you guys, and happy Thanksgiving, Indigenous Peoples Day. Happy everything. Just everybody thankful. How's that? That's pretty much how I got on that one. My name is David Hanzel. I am a spiritual medium. I'm also a channel and an angel communicator, guide communicator. There's all different things that we do. I also am an animal communicator, and I am well versed in near-death experiences, having had one in 2015. That is about it on that end. If ever you want to know anything about me or Lorilei, you can go to my website, theywhispertome.com, or Lorilei, she'll tell you how to find her on Facebook through Messenger. And also we have a group on Facebook called The Thing at the Foot of the Bed with Lorilei Potvin and David Hanzel. So you want to look it up like that. And it's a private group. And in that group, you can see the videos that we show during our show. Lorilei is kind enough to post them every week. Plus, you can add in your 2 cents worth. You can add in your spooky stories, show ideas, anything like that. Anything about the paranormal, ask people questions. Everybody in there now is pretty much probably knows a lot about the paranormal, whether it's professionally or just as an enthusiast. Also, once we get enough people in there, we're getting closer, probably after the first of the year or so, we're going to start going live in there and do some readings for you guys. So just keep that in mind. Lorilei, I'm going to hand it back to you quick. Did you get that together?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I literally I can get everything pretty well done, even with the intro, because I have this intro I've done I need to resize, and it plays small, so I can't pop us in until right the last second. I can usually get most of it done, because if I got to do it during the show for TikTok, it keeps dinging. I use a program. I know a little bit about tech, and it's GitHub. It's not illegal. It's not hacking or anything, but it's programming language. And I found a program that gives me the streaming key and the streaming room on TikTok. So that's how we can stream our show over there. So I got most of that done. Then I have to, after everything, re-edit it in the background, guys, and then add it. But while we got started, I said, give me a sec. Got started, but I wanted to give you this message because Heidi messaged me too. She said, David, I tagged you. And then notice the name change. I edited it and it changed again to Kel or Kelly, it looks like. I don't know why. She's messaged me privately to let me know. So I'm not sure what's going on, but for some reason that's happening when she's trying to tag you, Dave. So let's say hi to everybody. I don't know if you want to peek in.
There's so many imposters that I have, is that might be that it's picking up one of the imposters. I don't know.
I don't know either, but thank you for trying, because I know you do share it, Heidi, and we appreciate it. So Julie Jean Bassett says, hi, Lorilei, David, and everyone. Jackie Lane says, hi, everyone. If you're just rolling in and you're celebrating and haven't hit the turkey coma yet, stay awake. Happy Thanksgiving. We're glad to have you here. Jennifer M., hello, happy Thanksgiving. So thankful for Lorilei and David in this community, and right back at you. And Julie's wishing everybody happy Thanksgiving. Connie Martins, who is a fellow Canadian like myself, says, hello, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving to our U.S. friends. Heidi Gall says, hello, beautiful souls. Much love from Boulder. Michelle Wilfong says, hi, everyone. Were your ears ringing? Michelle, I was talking about you. I don't know if you were here yet or not. All good. Everybody's saying hi. Hang on. Let's see. Nicole Thomas Ryan is here. She says, hi. And then Heidi added, gratitude all. Excuse me. I'm driving home from my dad's. I'm listening, so drive safe. Michelle Plummer says, good evening and happy Thanksgiving. Michelle's fellow Canadian. I got to meet her at the conference here in Thunder Bay, the paranormal conference, when Carrie Lynn Shellhorn came up here. She's absolutely lovely, Michelle. And we got to give Carrie Lynn Shellhorn a shout out. She has Spirit Switchboard on Fridays, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here, right on UPRN, before Father Sean Whittington. You need to check his show out too. I'm actually going to be on his show in January. I just checked the date to write it on my calendar, because when we switch over right into January, I think it's January 10th. And if you guys don't know who he is on Eli Roth's League of Exorcists. Fantastic show. My only complaint was there was only 6 episodes. 6 episodes. I kept looking for more. And we got Kathy Henley Little. She says, gobble, gobble, guys. Well, gobble, gobble right back. And, Kimmy Bretz Weaver says, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. So Dave, before we went live, we were talking, you had a few fiascos with your cooking with Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I don't really do Thanksgiving. I don't eat meat or anything. And most of the only family here that's where I am right now are me, my mom and dad, and my little brother. Everybody else is gone, or someplace else. Yeah, but there was a couple things.
We got into them. Okay, so last week, I thought it was American Thanksgiving, because I've always known it to be the third Thursday in November. And Dave, we realized, we were talking a little bit about it last week, and we figured like something shifted. And then what do you think? It's a Mandela effect? Because I'm going to upload a video. Well, you can.
It's not the actual Mandela effect as much as it actually shifted. I mean, if we go around, there's actually now, I think they've got for people our age. I was going to say, I forget that we're the same age, but there's like over 100 different ones. A new one just started too with all this, and that was a Christmas song. And why can't I think of the Christmas song? I'll be home for Christmas, that song. So if I say this, I'll be home for Christmas, you can blank on me. What do you remember?
Count on me.
Nope, it's not anymore on all the albums and everything. It's Plan. It's gone. And people
But do you know it as Count on Me? It makes more sense. Count on me.
Yeah, it's not You Can Plan on Me. When the guy even played the old albums, they're now saying You Can Plan on Me in the old albums. It's like, no. And also,
okay, everybody's saying count. I'm trying to highlight it, and everybody's typing. So, Kathy Hanley Little, count on me. Kimmy, count. Heidi, count. Julie, count. Oh, you guys have to give Julie Jean Bassett a shout out. I need to give her a shout out. She's an incredible animal communicator. incredible shamanic practitioner. She was just on the Angel Rock. We had so much fun. I'm hoping to have her on in the new year. So one of my friends from Australia sent a picture of their pup, and I didn't see it till afterwards. So I'm sorry, Jody. I don't know if she's listening or not. Connie Martin says count. And Kimmy, but you guys check her out at juliejeanbassett.com. I'm telling you, life-changing session I had with her. She's helped me with my animals. I've taken my animal communication course with her, and she's awesome. So everybody's also, Kimmy saying
and now the Carpenters on their album, they do a version where the Carpenters, she sings "You Can Plan on Me" on her album. But on the original Christmas one, and here's why I'm going to just argue. So a lot of you guys say count too. I grew up in a lot of choir classes and doing a lot of choirs and doing a lot of everything. And we even traveled around doing choirs, and we sang that song. And it was always, "You Can Count on Me." In fact, it should be in the lyric sheets, "You Can Count on Me." But on the record now it says "You Can Plan." Some guy said, well, maybe that's another verse. So they did it live, and they're like, no, it says this every verse.
Plan doesn't make sense. Who says you can plan on me? You can count on me. Jennifer M is saying it's always been "You Can Count on Me." And yeah, that's what Connie's saying. She goes, so what does "you can plan on me" mean? Like that doesn't even, that's not proper grammar.
Like if you're making a plan, you can make a plan on me. You can plan on me. And it's an old saying, but that's not.
I have never heard that, even working with elderly people. I
would always say that I've always said, "You can count on me." Hey, can you do something for me? You can count on me. I've never said "you can plan on me" because it doesn't make sense. I mean, it's not good, but people have used it. But that, of course,
I sound outraged. I'm not outraged at you, Dave. I'm outraged at the ludicrousness of this.
It's crazy, and that's what's on the albums now. So everything is switched over, and then the Thanksgiving thing. Does anybody else on here? I mean, maybe my age or our age, but it was always forever.
I think we're all around the same age that you here.
Yeah,
we're all
forever.
Yeah, we're all about the same age.
I've never heard of the "You Can Plan on Plan B Me." Wait, the Plan B Me on the plan on me. Oh, I thought that song has anything to do with Plan B. I'm sorry, that was so funny.
Dave's losing it.
A Christmas song about Plan B? I mean, no.
True. Well, there's another thing that's Plan B, but there's many things.
That's what I thought. That's really weird. But anyway, that was a good laugh. I haven't laughed like that in a while.
Connie says there could be a Plan B.
There could be. You can.
Oh, then Julie. Okay. Now Julie feels bad because she goes, "Plan on me." Sorry.
I was like, okay.
It was a good one. It
was funny though. You know what? That's how much I think of you all. I think you are so intelligent. I don't bother to proofread it in my head before I do it. I just read it.
I didn't. Usually I'll pick up on the typo, but I thought you meant that. So it was funny and it was great timing. So Julie. So Heidi Gall says Toy Story, even saying "You Can Count on Me." I wanted to just stress one thing. So where was it? Higher up. Heidi, you said you were sorry you missed the show live with Julie. Well, guess what? She goes live a lot of times in different groups. Also, I asked her, especially over the holidays, because I don't do a lot over the holidays either. Once Christmas morning is here and everybody's ripped their gifts open, it's pretty quiet. So I asked Julie, she's kicking around and I'm kicking around. We might just go live. So you'll see that. So, and plus I'm going to have her probably on again in the new year. I think I sent her the link. I'll have to check after this because I have a booking calendar. So she'll be back on, but she goes live too in other groups. So check her page out. She's got lots of stuff there. So Kimmy,
Kimmy says, just like when we were growing up, Richard Simmons always had a headband on. Now you can find and pick a fit. And he did, because I grew up in the 80s, and when we went on Halloween, if you dressed up like Richard Simmons, you had the headband on. So
so I have the perfect video, and Dave and I did not talk about this before. And Heidi Gall says, amazing, yay. So Kimmy says, I think someone is trying to rewrite history.
And before you play the video,
okay,
I got to tell you, and you guys who are psychics, you can tell me what you think you might think it is. And Lorilei has not. Lorilei has not heard this yet either.
What's
So this is something that happened to me a couple times. And the first time I thought it was weird, I didn't think anything of it, you know what I mean? But it just happened. It was yesterday. And even my mom was confused. We were going to a fast food place, okay?
Right.
So we pulled up to the order thing, where you do the ordering, like the little clown mouth, whatever that is.
Yeah.
So we do the ordering, and there in front of us, there was 4 cars before we went to the window. It was a long line. We had to wait in. So there's 4 cars, and we moved up one, and then we're sitting there and we're looking around. I'm like, oh my God, Mom. I said, I can't believe this is taking so long. Like, I was in a hurry because I had stuff I had to do. So my mom said, let me pay for it. And I said, no, I got it. She goes, no, I got it. And she goes in her purse and she hands me her card. And I said, fine. So right after I grabbed her card, that was the only conversation we had. I wasn't in conversation. We ordered. I was up one. She said, let me pay for it. I said, okay. And I got her card. And I looked to my left. And guess where we were? We were at the window. And then my mom goes, hey, I got to get you my card. I said, Mom, you just gave it to me. It's in my hand. And she goes, how did I give it to you? I didn't go in my purse yet. I said, yes, you did. I have it. I just sat there for a minute and we got our food. I was like quiet for the next 15 minutes. That little bit of time. And I wish I would have looked at a clock beforehand.
Wow.
That was completely gone. And my mom even brought it up today. I said, remember yesterday? I said, wasn't that weird? She goes, what were we talking about? I said, we weren't talking. I said, I asked you a question. You handed me the card. And then when I turned to the left, we were at the window. And she goes, well, did we run over all the cars? I said, I don't know. I said, I don't know what happened. It was the weirdest thing. It wasn't painful. It wasn't freaky. It was just freaky. Now, a couple days before that happened to me. I was at a gas station and I was looking at something on my phone and I was going to get out of my car to go get a drink. And all of a sudden I walked back in my car to get my phone and my drink was there. And I remember going in to get the drink.
See,
and I was like, okay, either Dave is blacking out or having some kind of weird thing happen.
I keep feeling like I'm losing stuff all the time. Like I literally said tonight, because I got in the door and of course if you guys don't think that I really do try to walk the walk of the talk that I do. My car, Harry, is on his last legs, and I love that car. I did not name him. He was bought secondhand for my eldest son, who's going to be 30 in July. It's from when he was 16. It's an elder car, and the battery is slowly, you don't know if it's going to start or not. I think we need a new battery. My partner, Dell, keeps thinking there's a slow drain on the battery. And I said, no, I remember this quite a few years ago. We had to buy another battery. We just need another battery. I'm getting my usual bigger check at the end of January. So we're going out to, well, it won't be brand new, but it'll be a newer vehicle. But anyways, where was I going with this? So I was praying to the angels to get here in time. Okay, that's where I was going with this. Like I just said, angels, if it's for my highest good and everybody, I had my phone perfectly charged in case I had to do my phone or the show from my car. It was snowing out. It was cold, the whole bit. There was a fire alarm. The firemen came where I was. It was a crazy night. Okay. But I had my purse and I brought it in. And this has been happening. I know I've done something and then I can't find it. I'm not getting Alzheimer's. Not that there's anything, I'm not making fun of it, but it's literally like I swear I've done something, but I haven't. Or it's like I don't remember doing it. It's like it's happened. It's really weird. And then I feel like I've lost something and I haven't. It's where it was before. It's so weird to explain. So you're missing time. And it's literally like I don't remember doing something, but it's already done. Like for example, my purse.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
I've had a couple of those. Last week too was another one, but this is a harder one. But I know in my heart, I went down to the lake where I usually do like my lives at TikTok, and I pulled in down by the lake and I was in my car and it was like 4 o'clock. And I thought, well, I'm going to go on at like 4:15 or so I can stay on, before it starts to get dark right after 5. And I was looking at TikTok and I was walking from my car to go do my live. And when I got to the picnic table, which is literally a minute walk, it was already 10 to 5. And I'm like, what happened? And I literally looked around and I was like, what happened? There was nobody there.
That's what's happening with time with me. Like literally, this has been for quite a few years where I'll be like completely absorbed, busy in something. And I look at the clock just to check the time. It's always either 11:11 or 1:11. Okay. That's been going on for years.
Yeah,
but I literally look at the clock and it's like 6 o'clock and it's dark here already, right? And then you think an hour's gone by and you look back and it's like 11:30 at night. And it's like, how did 5.5 hours or pass? And I literally feel like I blinked.
I'm also been going through, I don't know if anybody else has, go ahead and let us know. I've also been going through that same thing. In fact, today I got home at 4 o'clock. It was about 4 o'clock or so. I sat in my chair. I did a whole bunch of things. I walked around. I fed the cat. I did all these things. I was sitting on me, and it looked like it was getting dark outside. And then I looked at my phone, and it was 4:30. I'm like, it's not 4:30. It has to be like, I thought it was like ready to go, get ready to come on here, and it was only 4:30. I was like, what's happening? Time is just getting really weird.
It is, because normally when we do daylight savings time, or what do we do? Fall back and spring ahead, right? I'm usually a little bit off with time, but no, it's literally like Heidi mentioned, time slips, or Kimmy's mentioning the time I have always seen in the 50 years of my life is 9/11. And Heidi says, I've had quite a few experiences regarding time slips.
Yeah, they've been happening more and more and more, but they are saying, like, if you guys want to talk about, this is like freaky and it's spiritual, but
we got a video to play to
let's play the Mandela.
Yeah. So people keep messaging me though. Thank God I checked you. Well, not that I've got to hide them, but you could just see everybody in the networks wishing everybody a happy Thanksgiving. So Roger Garza says, hola, happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Happy Thanksgiving, Roger and Faye, and to everybody out there.
Nicole Thomas Ryan says, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
That's right.
That's what we're calling this from now on. That's the paranormal version of it. That's what we say.
As my dog comes over. Okay, this is Kelly Mano, I think her name is. I love her because she gets together with all the TikTokers that celebrate the 80s. And Dave and I grew up in the 80s. I think many of us probably have, because we're all kind of in the same age group, within a decade or so of each other, it kind of seems. And she's super funny. She's a comedian. She does a podcast, and she's talking about what's going on that she noticed. And Dave and I didn't talk about this. This is what's funny. And I downloaded it. And so here it
die on this hill. So if you're going to come in the comments and disagree with me, you better bring it. If you were a kid in the 80s and 90s, your parents got these envelopes in the mail from the Publishers Clearinghouse Sweepstakes.
Yep.
And you could fill it out and send it in for a chance to win like $1 million. And if you won that $1 million, a guy named Ed McMahon would show up on your porch.
Oh, sorry, guys.
I got a question.
People are messaging me like crazy.
All right. First, you need to know that I am willing to die on this hill. So if you're going to come in the comments and disagree with me, you better bring it. If you were a kid in the 80s and 90s, your parents got these envelopes in the mail from the Publishers Clearinghouse Sweepstakes. And you could fill it out and send it in for a chance to win like $1 million. And if you won that $1 million, a guy named Ed McMahon would show up on your porch with a big ass check, some balloons, and a camera crew, and knock on your door and film your reaction. We all remember this, right? Wrong. It never happened.
Yes,
Ed McMahon never worked for, made commercials for, or was affiliated with the PCH in any way possible. And the internet is backing this up. You can't find footage of Ed McMahon delivering checks on the internet. It's been wiped from existence. They're saying that we're all wrong. It's something called the Mandela effect, where this large group of people remember something incorrectly and nobody can explain why. His face was on the envelopes. There's even TV shows that reference this happening.
Okay, she showed him.
Roseanne does too.
The winners of the public
She's going to show up.
Ed McMahon wants to see me right away.
So what, is the entire internet like lying to us? Did they get together with PCH and be like, hey, let's with the whole world and tell them that Ed McMahon never did this? Or did he really never do it? And there was a glitch in the matrix and we were living in a parallel universe. Like, I could not sleep last night. My brain hurts. And I need somebody smarter than me to figure this out. One more time for the people who don't listen. Ed McMahon worked for Publishers Clearinghouse. He delivered big checks to people's front doorsteps, and it has been wiped from the internet. I don't need Google. I don't need YouTube. I lived it. I know what happened. Yep. So stop sending me links to old commercials that he did for American Family Prizes. The dude had money problems. He worked a lot of places. I'm not saying he did not work for that company. You showing me that he worked one place does not prove that he did not work another. So take your Google links and shove them up. Now I know what you're thinking. Why would the government or anyone else go through the trouble of wiping Ed McMahon videos off of the internet? I think 100% that this is a social experiment. It's a psychological experiment. People do these all the time. They've done way more up ones than this. Just ask the guys from 3 Identical Strangers. If you have not seen that, you need to. It's amazing. So in this situation, I do think that they want to see how far they can push us. What will the American public believe if you take away what they knew? And at what point will they stop trusting their own memory and just go with the facts that are presented to them? Because let's be real, that would be a real interesting study. That would be something that would come real handy for lots of different agencies.
No.
You can't gaslight me. You can't. I'm ungaslightable.
She's on
bucks, the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes. They conducted a poll and they found out the number one reason people don't enter that thing is they say $1 million is not worth the nightmare of meeting Ed McMahon.
Trying to win the Publishers Clearinghouse sweepstakes. Have to get a big check from Ed McMahon.
No, Ed McMahon, our good friend, could not be here. You are the $1 million winner.
Nice try. Didn't work. Rest in peace, Ed McMahon. All right.
Okay.
She also does. She's also on an episode of Roseanne, which was not this back in the 90s, where Roseanne's answering the door for trick-or-treaters, and Ed McMahon shows up at the door with the check, and that was his costume. So that's another reference. I don't believe in the conspiracy that she says that the world is doing that. I believe in the timeline shift. I don't believe in the conspiracy that the government's trying to mess people up.
No, that wasn't the point of the video. The point of the video was that there's enough proof out there, and I'm going to go back. So Connie Martin said, yes, it did. Publish it. I know it existed. I entered it. She said, yes, it did. Our neighbors made $1 million, but it was from Reader's Digest back in 1976. Heidi says she loves Kelly and agrees. I entered the Publisher Clearinghouse many, many years ago. Kathy says, I saw this on TikTok. Ed McMahon did reward the Publishers Clearinghouse. And then Connie says, now I don't know if he showed up at the door. Yeah, but that would have been for Reader's Digest, Connie. And that this was Publishers Clearinghouse. Now, the reason why I know the difference is for years, my dad used to get me a subscription to Reader's Digest and every year for Christmas. And it's different from Publishers Clearinghouse. And I used to joke with my father because even though I was a nurse, my parents had never listened to me. And I used to always joke with my dad, unless it says it in Reader's Digest, you won't believe me, because my dad never listened.
No, didn't Reader's Digest have ads for PC?
Yeah.
PCA? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they would send you and then this 80s crew, there's one guy that always talks with an English type accent and he's got a beard. Then there's an African-American man that's a rocker. He's always rocking. He always plays good tunes from the 80s on TikTok. And there's one more. I forget who he is. And then, of course, there's Sherry. Slim Shady Sherry or something. She does a bit of light worker stuff. And they're all comedians and they're quite funny. But they all talk about this stuff from back in the good old days in the 80s about like Columbia House. Remember Columbia House when you used to go and get like 8? At first it was 8 tracks, then it was cassettes, and then you got CDs for a penny, but you had to buy so many and nobody ever bought them. Like you just got all your free stuff.
Nicole says, this is a good question, and I'll give you my take on it, my take, but it says, if timelines If timelines shift, why don't our memories change?
I
Well,
have
our
a take
memories
on it
do. Our memories do. Thinking of the whole idea, if you change the past, it changes the future. Actually, when you change the present, it changes the past. When you change the present, it changes the future. If we were to go into the future, you would have a new past, just like if you were in the present and it changes your past. And how I can explain that is, if you're in a really bad space right now, your memories are probably most likely going to go only to the bad things that happened to you all during your life, and your brain's going to unlock all those memories. But if you are in a really good place now, even if you had a crappy life, you most likely are going to forget you even really had a crappy life that much and start remembering the getting things. A lot of people say that, and I don't know how true it is. I'm not a quantum physicist scientist, so this is just me
I'm
from
going to give my
observation.
thoughts after you.
Yeah, but this is just me from observation. I do know this. The thing that I know to be true, just from my experiences in this, my NDE proved a lot to me, is that how we live in our present does change the memories of the past. It doesn't mean it changed it for everybody, but it changes how you perceived it, I guess, is probably the best way to put it. It doesn't change the actual things that happened. It changes your perceiving of it. It's just like I can look at an apple from my point of view one day, and then tomorrow, by some chance, I don't know how it'd be done, I can see that same apple from the neighbor's point of view, who I don't know. It's just a different point of view, but it's the same apple. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's yours? What's yours?
Well, the way I look at it is, right, it's not going to change your memories because you've lived it. Okay. And I think we are quite capable of changing timelines, and we do without recognizing it. The reason why this has become such a big thing is it's happening en masse around the world. So all of us, just even with Publishers Clearinghouse, how many of us remember it, right? But as we move forward on a different timeline, it doesn't have Ed McMahon. It doesn't have Publishers Clearinghouse. It doesn't have Fruit of the Loom. Speaking of Thanksgiving, with the big cornucopia and the fruit coming out on the label, there are so many different things, but we've lived that. So I don't think our memories changed. If we've lived it, we've lived it. We lived it. Yeah. So even though we switch a timeline, right, the future could change, and things that did exist in the timeline that we remember don't exist in the present timeline. It doesn't mean it didn't happen. It just didn't happen in the timeline that we are now, that trajectory we're on.
It's like a splitting of the world.
Your memories aren't going to be wiped just because you've switched to a different timeline. If you've experienced it, you've experienced it. And regardless of what people try and convince you of or tell you, especially en masse like this, they're not going to take that away. Now, it may not exist on this timeline that we as a whole population globally have somehow switched to a different trajectory or timeline. It happened. Those of us that are old enough to remember it, those going forward that didn't live it, though, probably think we're crazy because it doesn't exist in this time.
Whatever your personal, your personal timeline is your timeline. I understand what you're saying, and you're absolutely correct, Lorilei. I agree with that. Mm-hmm. But if you look at, oh gosh, what's a really good way to put this? So I have things that happened to me in the past that are in my memory. They are there when I was a kid, but other people don't know about them. I'm like, you don't remember that? No, I don't remember that. And I had to sit there and go, is that a false memory? Is that a false memory? Until you find that one person who goes, yeah, I was there. We did that. I'm like, why does nobody else? It could be because those people are on another timeline and we're on the same timeline.
That's what I was going to say, because timelines can converge. They can, it can be on the same timeline where you've had an experience, but then you've switched. Like we switch back and forth. It makes my brain literally fry once I get into time and timelines.
I know.
You have to trust what you've experienced. And to me, if you are not having any mental health issues, with no judgment in any way, shape, or form, okay, mental health issues are no different than, say, having diabetes. Now, are they different? Yes, but I mean the fact that it is illness, it's not something you can control, and I want to make that clear. But if you have a memory of something and you know it's happened, or like you, David, you asked, so many people, no one remembers it till somebody does.
Till that one, and then
So it's not I don't necessarily believe in false memories. I mean, then you get into a whole bunch of conspiracy, and I know you don't like to talk about that. We don't really deal with that kind of stuff on this show. But the thing is, especially on masks like this, and we're all from the same period of time. Like I said at the beginning of the show, we've all experienced this. We all remember it. For example, and yes, thanks, Heidi. It is a real Slim Sherry. I knew it was. I just love her. And then Contessa says, I want to just go back a bit. She says, yes, my bad. I do remember that about Reader's Digest. Not your bad, because they did have peace.
Yeah, they did have it. It was in there. So you were right. You were still right.
And Kimmy says I was a flat out klepto with Columbia House as a teen. Who wasn't? I still owe for all those albums and stuff that I ordered. All of us do.
They got my money.
So Connie says, I have heard that a lot of people are trying to jump timelines as of late. Maybe it's affecting everybody. You know what it is? So this is just my thoughts. I think if you're purposefully trying to do it without understanding time, and like you said, the physics and the whole bit of it, it's kind of like psychic ability. I think that if you really push it and you want it so bad and you're just grabbing at it, it's meant to flow. It's meant to happen effortlessly because we are capable of it all. Sometimes we need to be shown how to access it, but we have to trust and start trusting in ourselves and believing. I think that that's how timelines are. And I don't think we can purposefully switch timelines unless, say, you work in that field, you have a real understanding of the physics and everything else. Otherwise, we'd be able to time travel at will.
You can jump to a favorable timeline. This is what my understanding is, and this is a fun subject too. And yay, we can talk about it because it's not quite Bigfoot season. It's not quite Halloween.
I have a bunch of Bigfoot and dog.
I'm going to jump to the timeline when I meet him. We're constantly rifling through timelines. And the reason we know that, and quantum physics knows that, is that everything is happening at the same time. We need to understand it in a linear fashion. So we're constantly rifling through it, like billions of them per second. Now, we do, like right now when people are talking about the big shift. Now, this is from mine because I've been studying that big shift for a couple of years now because I got so sick of people hearing about it. We are in that shift, and it's literally a physical timeline shift. We're literally both occupying, two timelines are occupying the same space right now. So if you look at two train tracks, there's two train tracks and they're slowly going apart. So it's kind of asking you, which timeline do you want to be on? What timeline do you want to be on? What timeline do you want to be on? And what happens is if you go back and study them through like the law of one and Ra and all that stuff, and they talked about the harvest and all that stuff, what it's doing is the earth is literally physically splitting into two. And that's what the timeline is. So there's a group of people will either say there are service of self or service to others. Neither one's evil. It doesn't matter what you are. It's whatever it is. I happen to be service to others. Lorilei happens to be service to others. We're all on this. Most people here are. So on these timelines, what's happening are, if you want to tell that there's two groups of people right now on this earth, and you can literally, if I'm going to tell you what they are, and you'll be able to go through this and literally point out the people. One group of people is searching for an anchor, and people like us, we go inwards. Whenever we have a problem, what do? We go inwards. We know that it is all about us and where we are now. But then there's a group of people that are looking outside themselves. Those are the people joining groups because they feel lonely, and they're not all of them, but I'm ones like they have no personality unless they're in a group. You know what I'm talking about? Those people are ones.
I gotta disagree though, because I think we make contracts with people, and people sometimes come in, and that's why there is no difference. It's neither good nor bad. It's just a choice.
No, they literally just appear. I've literally had people disappear.
Just let me finish. Service to self or service to others. But sometimes we interact or we connect with people like that. We need them because they're here to help us. Do you know what I'm saying? Or us?
Oh, I'm not doubting that part. Oh, no, that's absolutely true. We run into people that seem to be no good for us when in fact they were probably the best person that taught us.
No, but there may be people like that. Like you said, maybe somebody that doesn't seem to have any personality. We've met people, I know I have, that don't really know who they are.
No, that's just their thing. If they're searching outside themselves for a group, that's fine. They're going to be on that timeline. That's not a bad thing. I'm not saying timelines are going one's good and one's bad. I'm just saying they are splitting.
So Julie says, we are jumping timelines all the time. I agree. It depends on the decisions we make. Most are very closely related, and a few are further off in the momentum tunnel. I agree. But Kathy asked a good question, and I want to go back to it.
What is that?
She said, what if a time traveler is making these minor changes? And then that's when you get into things like the butterfly effect, right? Like, so I do believe in time travel. I think there are people that have, and I think that there are devices like that. Whether we'll see it in our day and age, I don't know. But what people don't realize is each one of us really could time travel, not physically, but with our consciousness. No, with remote viewing. There, Augie Nost, who's a friend of mine, there's a machine out there called the Time Resonator machine, where you can go into the future and the past. I know on one of my shows, he probably doesn't even remember this, on one of my shows when he was on, he thinks he visited himself when he was a little boy in Norway. Two guys, and you describe one of the guys that looks very much like him now. He believes his adult self visited him as a child in Norway and talked to him about what his future was going to look like, some of the things he was going to be doing. And sure enough, and then you get into the question, did Augie do the things he did in life because of having this connection with these two strangers that visited him as a child? Or was it a prophetic, like telling Augie as a small child, this is where you're going to be going in life, right?
It could, I mean, it could happen. I personally don't believe in the butterfly effect, just because as far as quantum physics goes, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because we'd have to be on one timeline in order for you to disrupt something.
No, but if you change something, the butterfly effect basically is if you change something in a particular timeline, right? And I agree with you for switching timelines and it's something subtle. But if it's something major, and we're seeing that, if we're calling it the Mandela effect, if we're seeing that, is that what's creating these major shifts in what we knew, the Berenstein versus the Berenstein?
I'm going to take back what I said before and say that maybe you're actually kind of right on something, because of the fact, and not that you're actually kind of right, you're always right on everything, but
this is why we talk about, I don't know all the answers.
What do you think about this though? Now, see, I was just thinking to myself when I was talking about the butterfly thing to myself, and then this aha moment came to myself. Okay, I don't believe in the butterfly effect as far as like causing the world difference, but if like say Lorilei were to go back to her childhood and change something from her childhood, that butterfly effect is going to change her later on. That butterfly effect I believe in. On a global scale, I don't, but on the individual scale, I think it could be.
But there is such a thing as time paradoxes. Because don't get me wrong, I don't know the answers. I am not a physics expert, but looking into this, and I love to talk about these things, is, for example, Dave, and you're right. Like, and I've thought about this. Okay, so have any of us been asked? Well, I'll ask you in the chat. Like Roger says, I personally wish we could go back to the 50s. Think about this. All of us have been asked this at one time or point in our life, or we've had a video that's asked us this. If you could go back in life, do you have something that you wish you could change? I always say no, because I may not be doing what I'm doing. I may not have my children in my life. Like, I'm not going to go back and change my first marriage I had, because I wouldn't have the kids that I have. I wouldn't know the people I know. I wouldn't. And yes, it could be a different trajectory, maybe a better life, maybe whatever. Then you get into, and I've shared her name is Beverly Rhodes. She had a horrific childhood involved with some horrific things over in the UK. She is one of the world's best remote viewers. The FBI has used her. The CIA has worked with her. Police forces work with her. And, even going back into her childhood, I guess, she's traveled all over. She's got answers from the past, the present, and the future. Very, 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 very psychic. But where I'm going with this is, I bet you if you asked her, maybe next time I see her live, because she's got a regular show on Sean Atwood on YouTube every week. to be able to ask her, would you change your childhood, what you went through? Would you, if you could go back in time and change it, would you? I know I wouldn't, because there are things like time paradoxes, and you're right. I might not know you, Dave. I may not know all your life.
No. And you know what? Another thing too, if you really think about it too, yes, we had things that happened in our past lives, but people have asked me too, would you go back? Because I used to be a musician, a comedian, and all that. They say, do you wish you could have gone back and just said, hey, I'm going to stick with this time? No.
Or not had your NDE. Like if you had knowing what you know now, so you wouldn't have been as ill and had your NDE, you would have a completely different life. So I think and
that would just be a different life then. So why bother? I'm living the life of David right now. The whole messed up David who had the whole fun messed up life.
Oh, I know why I brought up Beverly. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. She had said, because somebody asked her in the questions, is there another version of us in different timelines? Sorry, guys, I'm thinking of a million things here with this story. And she says there are 3 different versions of herself that she actually goes back, like with remote viewing or whatever, and goes in and checks on them. She said there's one that's a younger version, there's an older version of herself, and another version of herself. Now, can I prove it? No. But I'm telling you, this lady is fascinating to listen to. She's got images of extraterrestrials in crystals that she's taken pictures of. I've posted some of this stuff in the group. I'm not saying she's the be all to the end all, but she's brought some pretty fascinating people, including one person who checks your DNA to see what extraterrestrial race your DNA comes from. So again, sounds crazy, right? But she deals with time and stuff like this. So it always makes my brain almost explode when I start talking.
For me, I always think this, because I mean, I'm not saying she's wrong, because, hey, for all I know, that's what she's doing. She's conferring with 3 people of her, because that could, listen, in quantum physics, actually, there's more than 3 of us. We have tons of timelines going on. We're just experiencing one of us at a time. But as far as like going back, I came to the conclusion a long time ago, and it works for me and it makes more sense, is like reincarnation. In my head, there's no such thing as reincarnation, only because things are happening now. Am I different people living different lives right now? Yes, that one I know. So I always tell people, if you can instead of trying to go to a hypnotist to go back to see who you were in a past life, because you're actually still that person, is to just try to connect with that person now. And you talk to your past life versions all the time. That's why some of the personality traits you have that you wonder where you got that personality trait from. You could be connecting to your other, maybe somebody else, who knows? I just put it in my head, all things happen at once, and it's easier for me to figure out.
The reason I mentioned this,
I think what you said is I don't see that she couldn't do that, because I think
that's what I was going to say. The reason why I mentioned her, I'm not saying she's the be all to the end.
I know, but I mean, it could be
but in all the years of research and everything, I have not run into somebody quite like her before. And the fact that when we've got major alphabet soup organizations around the world working with her, utilizing what she's picking up psychically, as well as energetically, as well as everything else, and she's helping them solve cold cases, you name it, crimes all around the world. She's got some validity, because she's got a bit of a track record. So to me, I think there could be, I don't know everything. So I like what you just said though, David, that for you, this is how it makes sense in your brain. And I think that that's what we need to do.
Yeah, that's just all. And that's how I looked at future people. When people say, if your future self didn't exist, or that wasn't existing right now, how would you go talk to your future self? Because your future self would not be here yet. So your future self is here. And time travel, like you said, I believe in time travel too. I believe that people do time travel. I think it's been done constantly.
Philadelphia experiment.
Yeah. Now, do I believe that people on TikTok are time travelers? No, not a one. I have not watched one that made me think that they would be.
Apex on YouTube, the Apex channel. Oh my gosh, if you guys want some fun, like
I don't post
anymore, but oh my god, some of the stuff on there.
Yeah. So if you guys want some advice about your future, meditate on connecting with your future life, which, like I said, in my reality, it exists now. Since
Really
everything
easy
exists.
way, connect with your higher self. Your
higher self.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Or like Kimmy shared, my mother who has passed visited me and told me there is no past life and that it's all actually happening at the same time. I'm in tears. And it is true. It really, there is no past, present, future on the other side.
It's just here. This is it. This is it. I thought about that today. I was thinking about when I was a little kid, I was at school during Christmas doing something, and I was trying to remember, and I was like, it doesn't even feel like it happened anymore because it seems like it was a long time ago. Even though, but when I sat here and I said, oh, actually, it's just happening now. I'm just seeing it from a perspective of the past instead of being in it, which I wondered when I was in it, was there somebody looking at that just like me, that perspective of the past and going,
well, I think we need time as human beings.
We do. Yeah.
On this planet, we need it. But on the other side, and the beautiful thing I've been noticing and seeing as of late, I am seeing and running into more and more people either doing shows or guests or speaking about on all different platforms. And I know that this has been one of my messages that I know Spirit has shared with me, is to remind humanity how incredibly powerful, not from an egotistical sense, but how incredibly powerful and gifted each and every one of us as a human being is. And we are not limited. We've been programmed, if you will. And I'm not sounding conspiracy, but we've been.
That's not a conspiracy. That's true. We do.
To believe that we can't do all these things, but we can. We can. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tom, I like that. I like your question. Time is a man-made concept. I feel like it's not even real. It is made by man, but that concept was put in place for this place because, like Lorilei said, and I agree with her, we need time while we're here. We have to have some sense of time. Otherwise, if you need to go live in the woods and you don't have to pay electric bills or go out for food or do anything and all that stuff, yeah, you can totally live out there without any time or any watches. In fact, isn't there a place like in Scotland or in Europe where on that huge island, they got rid of all the clocks? I can't remember. I just watched it.
I don't know. I always say my mother never taught me a lot of wisdom, but there was a few things. One thing was you don't need to tell people how good you are because your actions will speak louder than any words could. But the other thing she taught me, she always used to say, I never look at the clock when I go to bed because then I don't know how tired to be when I wake up in the morning. And you know what? It's true.
Cute. That's true. When I was in first grade, now watch people tell me in my first grade class, that was never there. Mandela effect. There was a sign right next to our clock that said, time will pass, will you? Because they wanted us to stop looking at the clock.
Well, I remember looking at the clock as a kid, especially my brother used to get up at the crack of dawn, like 3:30 in the morning, because there's just my brother and I, we were 15 months apart when it was Christmas. And my parents would say no. And my dad used to make this horrific eggnog Christmas Eve and it had booze in it, but he'd give it to us because he wanted us to sleep. And I remember that didn't stop my brother. And you'd be sitting there and they'd say, no, you can't get out of bed till like 7 o'clock or whatever. Right. And it'd be 3:30 and you'd literally be staring at the clock and it would seem like it had literally froze. Do you remember those days? Anybody?
Yes,
like it just took so long to get to 7 o'clock.
Yeah, that's why they tell people like a watch pot never boils. That's how we know too that time is like a weird thing. Yeah. Do I will say from my NDE, because it was 2015. So there's stuff I still remember, even some of the feelings. There really is no time. And that I heard about that before my NDE, but when I went into my NDE, I'm like, okay, that's a truth, and nobody can tell me any different on that one.
I try not to look at the clock because I don't sleep a lot. Like actually this week, I've been saying what's wrong with me, been fighting off a bug. I feel fine now, but I've literally laid down, had a nap. I've been really tired this week. Okay. But normally I don't look at the time when I go to bed, and when I wake up, I wake up. And I usually don't sleep in. It's only a couple hours. I'll find out later in the day that it's only been a couple hours when I kind of guess when I went to bed, because I love to work on things at night when it's quiet. No one's messaging me. Nobody needs me. And I kind of get lost in the creative process. Actually, didn't show you this. I'm going to show you guys this.
Oh, I got to tell you something real quick. What is that?
This is my little Grinch thing. No, I have a bad habit, obviously, but these are little cases I've made for the Grinch. They're hard to see. The light's not. I don't know if I do the light. See,
no, that's cute. Oh, I like that.
And then I even have a lighter case to match. So I'm making these. I'm on a Grinch kick this Christmas. You know how we've always been gnomes, Dave, and I still love my gnomes, and I know you love gnomes. I'm on a Grinch kick this Christmas.
I like the Grinch. You know what's really funny? I don't. Sometimes I wish I used a lighter for something just for just so
what about candles? What about candles?
Well, I've got all my dragon lighters that I use those.
I've never put bells on here. It's even I didn't want to do it with the light. I'll see, but it's got little
No, that's good. If you're sitting outside smoking and a stranger comes up and it scares you, just start shaking your cigarette pack.
It's got little Christmas lights. It's got little hinges. Well, it doesn't have to be for cigarettes. There's other things people could use.
Yeah, there's lots of things you can use it for. I was going to say in my near-death experience, for those who wondered about that, when I talk about time, it's really weird. It's hard. The hardest thing and Lori's probably read this from other ones too. The weirdest thing, it's always really tough when you come out of them, when you come back. Not like you're being punished. It's just tough to make heads or tails of things for a minute. But it was always hard. My NDE, that whole thing, didn't feel like it was. It felt like it was an eternity of time. Like I was there for a very, 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 very long time, doing all these things and bouncing from here to there. Which, in fact, it could have been 1 minute during surgery. Or it could have been, that big, that's why I tell people, if they go, my near death was 5 minutes, mine was an hour or 3 hours. Like, it really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Every NDE person, from whoever had one for 3 hours and jumped back up out of a body bag miraculously, or somebody who died like very quickly, like they just got out of the car, they brought them back with the thing. They could have had the same length of experience, just because there is no time. It's all a perception.
I have heard people that felt like they spent 3 months and it's been like a day or two, and then yourself, a very lengthy experience. It just depends. I think you get the experience that you're meant to have.
Yeah, that's what I think.
And the time passes in the way that it needs to pass. Now, I have another video. Actually, somebody sent me a video of a dog man, and I kept going, this has to be AI. This isn't the one I'm going to show. But how I found this channel. Now, this is really strange stuff. I don't know if there was a lot of Bigfoot, actually. And I'm going to tell you, one of the ones I got, I'd love to hear your thoughts, because out of one of the videos, I am pretty sure this is fake. We can talk about why, but this one is actually, they're calling them skinwalkers. I get so mad when they call them skinwalkers, because you don't know that they're skinwalkers, but it's something weird. Do you want me to play it?
Yeah, play it.
Okay.
Let's weird out, you guys. This is what this time is for.
Okay.
Killing footage was captured by a family that lives in a remote area. They have various security cameras mounted around their property. And on this night, they would capture an otherworldly intruder on their front camera by their porch.
Let me see if this is the one. Yeah, this thing. I don't know what this thing is. You only get a piece of it, but I got a couple like this. These things are showing up all over the world. So that one's kind of hard to see. You just get these long arms.
The deeply unsettling footage highlighted on May 23rd, 2024 shows a pale, skinny, humanoid creature slowly crawling along the grass. Taking a look at the arms, they're unnaturally skinny, too skinny to be the arms of a human.
Vampire creature. Let's see, that's a skinwalker.
And the rest of its body seems very skinny as well.
Okay, I think this is
the skinniness paired with the paleness shows us this is something unknown.
Oh, this is another weird one too.
But it does have hair on its head, confusing the homeowners and viewers even more.
Yeah, it's one of the
footage was also reportedly taken very late at night. What kind of human would crawl around a stranger's yard with no clothes on in the middle of the night? They would be completely risking their lives.
I don't know, David, because some of them, yeah, it's AI. Like some of them are, but there's one that was really weird. I'm trying to.
Well,
Oh, this one was.
Yeah, I'm just saying I'm being funny for the first one, but I take my screen, I can pinch my screen, and I can look at everything pixel by pixel, and it's AI. You can see when he placed the hands down.
Okay, that's not the one.
I'm
looking for the one in
when he said no human is that skinny. Oh yes, there are.
I don't know. This
I don't
one
think
was
that somebody that skinny would have the strength to walk around in the snow. I'm not going to say that it is or isn't because it's not my business. But when I watched it, no, I don't believe it. It doesn't mean that it's not true. It just means that I personally don't believe it.
Okay,
But,
so this one, when it was sent to me, I can agree with you, and it was actually put. Hang on, because I kept questioning. I'm gonna load it up here. Nobody would have been this close without.
no, you and I talked about. Remember when you and I talked about those ones? They just looked like they had two legs that were walking through that yard. They almost look like puppets.
That's the one I'm looking for. I might not have.
Those are always freaked me out because that was before AI, and it was also it might not have been, but it also those ones. They act differently than even like this one just did. Even this AI.
The one I'm looking for, I don't know, maybe I didn't download it, but it was from Mexico. Like this was weird, this thing. I'll go through here and I'll see. Yeah, the Bigfoot ones, I guess I didn't download. I just sent them to myself. This might
I was looking at some too, but every one I looked at was like, are you freaking kidding me? Are you really trying to pass this off?
I get mad at they keep saying it's a skinwalker.
Oh, those two. That was really funny because anybody who's watched the show for a long time know that me and Lorilei just cringe when we hear the word skinwalker.
Because everybody says it's a skinwalker.
Yeah, because everything's a skinwalker. Look at this. Oh my God. I wonder what this is. I bet this is a skinwalker.
I get so annoyed. No, I'm looking for the one that was in, this was caught in, just let me see if I can find it. No, this one's in the woods. See, there was a bunch. Some of them I sent to myself and, maybe it's this one, the duende. It might be. They thought it was a duende. And there's a little critter up in a tree. Now, apparently this was live, but this isn't the one I'm showing. This was what got me started on this. And Kimmy says, I'm so with my people. Let's weird out. And she said, okay, so this, I knew it had to be. I wasn't sure, but I thought if this was real, because I'm thinking of.
Oh yeah, I know what this one is. I already know who this guy is.
Me this. The reason why, though, and this is a myth I've discovered because of this video, that AI can't get teeth properly or nails or fingers. Oh yeah, and when you read the comments, always read the comments. So let's play this one. There's another one after it.
It's a really good spooky.
It's AI. A good one. There's no way somebody got that close. Okay. That looks pretty real, David.
That's awesome. That is some kick butt AI.
That's what I thought, because you know what? Like, look at the muscles. I even froze it on the teeth. I blew it up, the claws. It is perfect. The reason why I know this is AI, because I read the darn comments. And what did I do here? Sorry, guys.
But the person who made this did make one mistake already. You can see.
What's that?
And I've watched this from watching a lot of Bigfoot photos. Do you see how he's stepping? They want to make sure that you realize he's stepping to add something, but his first foot goes down and the smoke comes out after. It's not coming out at the right time for a step. It's just weird little things you can look at, but this AI is really good.
Even put the shadow in. I thought it was pretty cool. So give me a sec. There's one more after this. I got to make this smaller.
That's really good AI. I love it.
Okay, this is the second one. This is when I started realizing.
Kimmy Brett says, is it bad that I think that werewolf was sexy? No, that werewolf was obviously he's worked hard on his body and has worked out very, very, very long. So yeah, no, why not?
What I kept looking at was, okay, so Heidi says, agree, Lorilei, no way in hell someone was that close. That was my first clue. And I'm going to tell you guys, whenever you see something, read the comments, always go past the smart asses and whatever, the people that are mean. Okay. But the thing is, the guy that posted this admitted it was AI. But to me, exactly, that was my first clue. After I kept going, this has got to be AI. It's got to be AI. And then I thought, no way anybody was that close and got this video and nothing happened to them. No way.
You know what? You know what's really sad? You know, ever since, you know, we had that thing in the States and people are, you know, the aliens in the ocean and all that fun stuff. And why are you people not talking about it? That is a cool thing to know. But anyway, there's like a billion TikTokers and YouTubers going, just found for the aliens from the ocean. And they're showing all these AI generated things. And it's just getting to the point where it's almost even annoying at this point. I think what's happening is those videos and all that are kind of really dulling down people's senses. You know what I'm saying? They're really thinking that everything exists now. You know?
Okay, there's another, this lady, the first one I showed, she was caught on a security camera. Looks almost like the same skinny lady, but I'm looking for this one that was caught in, it was caught, like these things were caught on a live, some of these things. I'm going to see if this is the one, because oh yeah, this is the one that freaked me out, because I'm telling you guys, I've talked about this many times in North America about why versus South America versus Asia versus Africa versus the Philippines. Everybody seems to have weird, creepy stuff. So let's do this one first and I'll show you what I'm talking about. I don't know what this thing is. The next one I'm going to show you. This was, you guys will see. Again, if anybody got this close up, I wouldn't be opening my door. Of course, Kimmy, unless you find him sexy, I guess, and you can communicate. And I'm just teasing. Like, talk about Little Red Riding Hood.
Yeah, I saw these earlier. These are really interesting AI though. They're really good.
Yeah, look at the shadow in. Look at the teeth. Like normally they can't get the teeth and the claws. Like, look at this thing. He did a pretty darn good job, I would say.
Well, I know with the teeth and the hands and the feet on pictures, they always end up putting like 6, 7 fingers in there.
But there's not. I'm going to post this.
Oh no, that video is good.
Okay, now this thing, you guys tell me what you think the next one, because this one freaked the heck out of me. Like, I even sent it. Oh, where are we going here? Oh, sorry.
I think I could almost watch a whole movie of that kind of AI with that werewolf, but it might bother me after a while, because even watching that, I started, before you played it, I could see on the door, you can tell it looks like, I can't explain it. It looks like you're looking at a painting and not real life. That's the difference between AI realness and that. Parts are going to look like a painting, I think.
Yeah, I paused it. It was on that one. I was looking at the claws. Hi, Kasoon. How are you? Welcome. Kimmy says, oh yeah, sexy, not scared. He is kind of sexy if you're into that wolf thing. I have the most beautiful wolf door knocker that I found actually at Michael's. And it was for Halloween, and I painted it. It's all in silver, and it's got gorgeous aqua eyes. And my partner Del hung it up on the wall outside. He's in this big wolf kick thing lately. He's been getting all these wolf posters and wolf things. So it must be something about wolves. And Kimmy says, I feel like I saw it before it opened the door too. Oh, Kevin's here. Julie says, hi, Kevin. Are you saying hi, Kasoon? I'm not sure. But okay, this is the thing that freaked me out. Okay, I don't know, but there's a couple things that were on lives that this guy was showing, and you can't change the live. So hang on, let's see how I start this. So it's way up here.
Videos I've ever seen, and it was just posted on October 6th, 2024. It wasn't specified which country it comes from, but the caption seems to be in Arabic. And we do know the men were in a very remote area when they ran into these strange crawler creatures.
I don't know if I can blow them up for you. You can see them. Like, what the heck are these things? Are they rakes? Like,
their vehicle is stuck in the dirt, preventing them from fleeing from these strange beings.
Sorry, this was the Middle East.
They run around frantic, deeply disturbed by what they're encountering. The creatures move towards the vehicle, to which the driver gets up and runs away. Zooming in on these things, they're pale and excessively skinny, too skinny to be people.
I'll try and make
and two of them seem to be a light reddish or pinkish color, and the other two are just pale white. and they crawl around oddly. After turning the camera off, the men were able to get the vehicle unstuck and they escaped with their lives.
Like, what
But the question we're left with is, what were those things?
That's not the question I'm left with.
Mentioned the rake and pail crawlers, as well as skinwalkers.
He calls everything.
Allegedly, pail crawlers used to live underground. This here is one of the most groundbreaking creatures.
So I don't know. Now you think it's AI, of course, because you usually think it's AI.
No, it was. Well, no, there's too many questions to be asked. Who's filming it? That's one. And if that really did happen, there would have been investigations by now.
It was but it was in the Middle East, Dave. So are we going to hear about it if there was an investigation?
Yeah, we would, because people think that nowadays nothing is far away, and that's another thing why people they're not doing these when they're showing these. They're not the guy who's presenting it is not doing a good job because he's not offering anything. He's offering the bare minimum because they're counting on people to go, oh, that's scary, that's real, or just entertaining too. I don't know what. I don't know if it was AI or not. I just know there's just too many questions that I have. Like, why isn't the guy filming it running? If they are dangerous, why is he calling them dangerous, yet they're all still hanging around them? So nothing adds up or makes. If you go down the cognitive, logical left side of your brain, nothing in that video makes any sense whatsoever. If I look at it from the imaginary part of the brain, it's like, well, that was cool. That was really neat. And if they are real, let's say hi to them. Take us to your leader. Whatever.
I thought they were creepy. I've seen
they're creepy. Oh yeah, that's creepy. Yeah, if I saw that in real life, I'd be like, that's pretty creepy. I don't think I'm going to hang out here.
Like, I'm going through these, a couple of them. I don't know. Well, let's ask everybody what they think. Just because.
Yeah, what do you guys think of the two videos? And don't listen to me or Lori. Just whatever you think. It doesn't.
Okay, so Kimmy says, I do not like those things. Not sexy. Now, to me, they look like what I would call the rake. And I have seen videos before AI, but mainly in South America, I've seen these things. And they've got very thin heads, long, long arms, very, very thin, usually no clothing. I don't know what they are. They've been called the rake before. So Heidi says, I really think that people can create just about anything, and too many people want to go viral. Very true. But think about Slender Man or Thin Man. That was a creepypasta story. And more people, it was on 4chan, and more people started reading about it, talking about it, obsessing about it. And now we're seeing video, we're seeing encounters. Now, again, we have to be so careful in this day and age with AI and with deepfakes and what have you. But this was quite a few years ago before all this technology came out. Now, did they create the tulpa of Slender Man, Thin Man?
But even tulpas aren't lasting.
What do you mean they're not lasting?
Tulpas only have the energy. Of course, the energy's there forever. We know that.
I think tulpas last because
they last, but not forever, because they become, unless people continue to keep the visual. It's kind of the old saying goes, you're still alive until the last person remembers you. So
if it's one person, but if it's a collective,
that's what I mean. If a collective is remembering you, then yes, you would still be alive. Yes, in that sense, I agree with you absolutely. But I don't. Those are fun videos, and I like them, and they're creepy. But
this thing was creepy. I don't know what it is. It was creepy. I don't know if it's real or not. People are messaging me while I'm live. It's like, go away, please. I don't want it.
They're like, stop doing your show.
Oh,
Heidi Gall says, I think 97% of people would jump in that Jeep and get out of there. I think so. I think 99%.
They said the Jeep was stuck. That's why they couldn't leave. And Kimmy says, they did get it unstuck, though. Kimmy says, I would run like the police were chasing me. Know that. Contessa says, aliens. The person that originally sent me the Dogman video, I sent it to them and I said, what the heck are these? And they said the same thing, maybe off-worlders, or they were talking about some of the tunnel dwellers, because there's something I saw here too. I'm going to play next. I don't know what this is. It was creepy. Kimmy Bretz Weaver says, not going to South America ever, LOL. Actually, these guys, I was wrong. It's not South America. They were from somewhere in the Middle East. And then Heidi says, what about the theory of people talking it into existence? That's a
tulpa. That's a tulpa.
I do believe that people have had experiences with the rake and Slenderman. So do I. I don't think it ceases to exist, because look at some,
Oh, yeah.
Well, let me finish. I was going to say, though, like, think about the things that have passed down through the ages of people still talking about them. Now, did they once exist? Like vampires, did vampires once exist? And because of people still continuing to talk about it and think about it, and some people obsess about it, that energy continues to grow and conglomerate into a tulpa.
It does. And that's what a tulpa is. I mean, just because I say something, it doesn't mean that things don't exist. It means that things are always, no matter what it is. I can sit here. If we could manifest tulpas that easy, then everybody in this world would be filthy rich and have zero problems. And here's the reason why. Because that's manifesting. It's thinking something into existence. It's the same thing as manifesting. I want $100,000, a new job, or a new boyfriend, girlfriend. That's manifesting. You're thinking it into existence. If we could think in tulpas that easily, you should be able to sit there for 10 minutes and have some big hunky Bob guy who in a werewolf suit come and get Kimmy because she.
You guys, I didn't even play the videos of the homunculus things. I've talked about this before. I've downloaded the videos. Maybe one time we will talk about them, because my God, this is fastest 2 hours of my week, I swear.
Oh, wow, we're flying through.
Some of the stuff I have seen from this, and this was long before AI. I swear to you it was. It's by a guy over in Russia, and he has filmed some of it. Could he have maybe photoshopped it? I don't know, but I am telling you, homunculus. And the guy from Russia, he's filmed some of this stuff. Okay, so Michelle Plummer says, do not feed the wildlife. They look outnumbered.
Yeah, they do. But they look awfully skinny, so I don't think either they're very hungry or they just don't eat people.
Connie agrees with you. She said, David, I was just going to say that. And Kimmy says, I hope vampires did. I love vampires and werewolves, even before Twilight. There is a new audiobook out there. They've been advertising it everywhere. It's called The Vampire. Oh, God. Give me a sec. I will find it for you. There's audiobooks out there. They want you to buy their app to listen to them. If you look it up, you didn't hear me say that, but you can find them for free. And they usually play out the first parts of the book in like almost like a TV series, and they'll show it on YouTube or anywhere else. It's called the Vampire Syndrome, or the Vampire something, and it's actually the story sounds like it's in a world post-apocalyptic after the Daedalus aliens attacked and most of humanity was wiped out, and everybody has superhuman gifts. It's quite interesting. I'm going to listen to the audio.
I've also loved vampires werewolves since I was a kid. I love werewolves. In fact, Twilight was the one that
Vampire System. Look up the Vampire System, and there's an audiobook.
What's that movie with? There's a movie where a guy. Vampires are now in the world and they're raising people for blood. I can't remember the name, and they can only come. I'll remember the name of the movie. Really good movie for a long time ago.
Vampire System. There was another one I got really into because I don't have time to read books. I wish I did. I love reading, but it was an audiobook, and I started this. It was like a commercial playing on a YouTube video. And it started developing into the story about this woman named Nora and the way she grew up. And this woman is she's completely hid her identity, but she's one of the world's most incredible surgeons. And it gets a little crazy though. Like, she's the world's race car driver and best. Nobody knows who she is. And it's quite a story, but that's how I found out about this audiobook app. And this one just started playing, and I love vampires too. So I do. So that's how, when this came up, wasn't looking for it. It's called the Vampire System. It looks pretty interesting.
Yeah. I loved Great American Werewolf in London. It was one of my favorite horror movies ever. And Daybreak, I believe that sounds familiar. Do you remember what the actor's name was that was in there? Because that's a really good movie.
I haven't seen it. But like I say, I don't watch scary movies. There's enough scary stuff in my life. And Kathy has
Underworld.
David,
not Underworld.
Oh, I love Underworld. Oh my God.
I like Underworld though. Underworld's a good movie.
Trilogy of it.
Yeah, the Lycans and I love them. I love them.
The first one was the best though.
Yeah, it was.
It really was.
It was. She just kicks butt in that movie too. She's so good. That's just such a good movie.
It was a good movie. Yes, I have to give it that. It definitely would.
It's Daybreakers. I think it's Daybreakers. Is that it? Oh.
Daybreakers? And yeah, Kimmy says it's not scary, hun. Are you talking about Underworld or Daybreakers? If it's got vampires, I'll usually watch it. Unless it's I hate jump scares, but if it's got a good story,
with an S, Daybreakers. I just found it. It's a really good Ethan Hawke. Yes, it's a really good movie. Yeah, it's not scary. It's not a horror movie, but there's a lot of blood in it. Yeah.
Okay, so I have the Abominable Snowman.
Abominables. I said abominables.
Abominable.
I want an abominable snowman just to put the star on top of my Christmas tree.
Oh yes, how could you not love that? I'm looking for it. Okay, go first to the Bigfoot. We're running out of time, you guys. This goes by so fast. I downloaded these early in the week though, so there's a couple that look like they were fairly realistic. Now let me see. I've sent myself a gazillion videos here, so give me a sec. Okay, I think this is the one. Let me just double check.
If I'm going to find it one day, I came across a Bigfoot one that I even thought, I'm like, oh, this sucks. That's real. Oh my God, that is the realest thing I ever seen.
He has some that I think are real that I've downloaded. This one though, please stop messaging me. Jeepers. Goodness gracious, people. I appreciate you thinking of me, but okay, did I pull it up on the stage? Did I add it to the stage yet? No,
Add it to the stage. Come to the stage. It's Trixie Mattel.
Okay, you guys tell me what you think. I know David's going to say already.
I've got my screen popped up. I've got the entire screen is just this little thing right now.
However, the footage is very mysterious. It seems a group of hunters have come together to try to capture and hunt one of these elusive Bigfoot creatures, and it seems they've succeeded. Somehow they have captured and locked a giant bipedal creature inside a cage.
Sure,
and here is the footage.
Here's the footage, everyone. Get ready for the face.
The creature looks rather realistic.
They
even zoom in on its face at times, and we get a very good look at it.
Yeah.
Could this be too good to be true?
Yes.
Many are saying this could be fake footage from a skit or a movie or something. But others aren't so sure. And they believe this is a real encounter with the unknown. But just look at its face here. It looks pretty human-like, but primate-like at the same time. The supposed creature is obviously angry, not wanting to be in captivity.
Gee, you think?
One key part of this, though, is this shot here, where we can see its eye move around. Now, this could be some of the clearest footage of Bigfoot yet. However, the footage is very mysterious. It seems a group of hunters have come together to try to capture.
All right.
It's not mysterious, and it's a wonderful concept.
I think let people, because you're always going to debunk it. Let them see what they think. Let's see. That's not real, Kasoon says. Okay. All right, Dave, jump in.
The only thing that makes it not real to me isn't the Bigfoot itself. Because hey, I've never seen a Bigfoot myself up close, so I don't know what.
He's got some good footage that I downloaded.
Yeah, that was super good footage. I would say it's not real because of this. If you use cognitive thinking, no way, chance, and H are hunters going to have a Bigfoot in this entire world would not know about it. That's just not going to happen. That I tell you, when we get breaking Bigfoot news or breaking alien news or anything, it's not going to be in a YouTube video.
There's a lot of stuff on here that people have, and a couple of them have been live. Okay, so it's pretty hard to fake a live that I think are Bigfoot, and they look like Bigfoot.
Yeah, some. I've seen. Oh no, I've seen a couple guys who have some good stuff.
Let me add the reason why I right away called BS. First of all, too clean, too human looking. Plus that cage, I'm sorry, if a Bigfoot can take a tree that is almost 5 feet in diameter and break it like a twig, you think he can't get out of that cage? He's too human looking, too.
Yeah, I agree with you big time. That was just the whole, if you just go through cognitive thinking, no, it's not real. But I agree with you. I've seen a couple of people who caught stuff live or caught pictures live that I'm looking at it going, this really could be it. You know.
We won't have enough time, but we'll try and save them for next week. But there was one I had a hard time at first seeing. He had some interesting stuff that people sent in. The one thing I didn't like is everything's a skinwalker if you can't explain it. No. And then the same thing, like he actually went over the Patterson-Gimli film from the 60s. But there are some that I do think could be Bigfoot on camera from looking at it. Because it looks like what you would expect in the size and the actions and the movement. Like it doesn't look like it's a human being wearing a hairy suit, or as Michelle Plummer says, it was a cinematic masterpiece. I like what Kimmy said. Looks like my brother-in-law. I bought him a Bigfoot wind chime for Christmas.
You know, what was I going to say? No, I can't remember. Oh, with skinwalkers, you know what I was looking up because I use this on my TikToks. That's how I get a lot of views and all that. And there's a specific way with the algorithm to put hashtags in, say it in your voice, and put it up on the screen. So, skinwalker on YouTube in the paranormal community is a very popular hashtag. It's kind of like, I've actually put skinwalker on a couple of our hashtags a few times, but they didn't do me any good because we didn't talk about
ufology. I got another ufology or UFO video I caught because Julie Jean Bassett and I are friends off air, and she had sent me a video the night of the full moon. And we debunked what we thought could have been possibly an anomaly that was flying around. But as I was voice messaging, because I voice message everybody, because I send so many messages, people message me back and my phone thinks it knows how to type better than me, and it doesn't. So I voice message and I go, holy crap, hang on, I got to film this. I caught something on camera. Was not expecting to, and it's almost like a red light. Julie couldn't see it at first till I circled the area where it was close to the moon, and I said blow it up, and it was some kind of anomaly that was out there. I've caught them. Anyways, I have posted them. Remember, you suggested, it's not Dave's fault, by the way. It's just, I think it probably got lost in the sea the last time of UFO videos that people put out there or whatever. But that's how you make videos go viral, by the way. You use hashtags that are common, right?
Yeah, they're common. Yeah. But I like you said, I agree with you on all the points that you said about that video. I was like, yep. Not that we know how clean a Bigfoot's face is. I mean, I'm sure they don't shave or anything, but I would think that if they lived outside in nature, they would have more nature things about.
I'll see if I can pull one up quickly. This is funny.
If you can, yeah.
Every time you say skinwalkers, I hear skid markers. I laugh out loud every time.
It could be skinwalkers too.
All of us maybe will grow up one day.
Maybe they're walking. Maybe skinwalkers walk so funny because of the skid marks. Maybe that's why they're walking.
I don't know. Let me see if I can find one that was pretty decent. I got to go through my phone because I got them in my phone in the area where I can see where they are. Hang on. Okay, let's see. There was one that's an old one that is it looks like a white Bigfoot that was caught on camera. This one's been around for quite a while, this video. Come on, cooperate with me, phone.
What was that? There was a zoo guy,
Come on, I'll send it to myself again. What am I doing?
Who was that Aussie guy who got he got killed by the stingray?
Steve Irwin.
Steve Irwin. Okay, there's another guy like Steve Irwin that went around. He had dark hair and he wore shorts, and he also did all these zoo and animal stuff. I can't remember his name, but they promoted. He said, we're going to show you an actual footage of an abominable snowman in China or whatever, where they were. And I never saw the show, but I can't find what it was. And I think what they were doing is showing you a different animal people were mistaking it for. But
well, I don't know. I've seen this one many times. I'm going to show it. We got time just for this one. So hang on. This is an old video. I've seen this one many times before.
Go off with an infamous Bigfoot sighting. It comes from Blakesley, Pennsylvania, dating all the way back to the 1970s. Even though it was taken a long time ago, it has still stood the test of time, with absolutely no one being able to debunk it. On this night, the witnesses set out on a late-night adventure into the Pennsylvania forest. Then, all of a sudden, strange growls are heard coming from the near distance. They quickly turn and shine the flashlight and aim the camera in the direction of the sounds, and there it was.
Remember, this is from the 70s.
I thought he said 1997. No, he said the 70s?
No, he said from the 70s. Do you want me to replay it?
A white Bigfoot or Yeti is briefly illuminated by the flashlight. Then it ducks and quickly moves away.
I'll play it again so you know that it's from the
Slowing the footage down, we get a better look. The face looks very human and realistic.
I can't replay this one. He'll replay it.
It has dark, hollow eyes, a smaller nose, and human-like lips. And it's covered in white fur. It looks nothing like a mask or costume. The witness says she estimates the creature stands between 6 to 7 feet tall, and that it was covered with dirtied white fur. The uploader states, kicking the video off with an infamous Bigfoot sighting. It comes from Blakesley, Pennsylvania, dating all the way back to the 1970s, even though it was taken a long time.
So it was taken from the 1970s. I've seen this video many times.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's, no, they've had tons. And actually, it even says, since that's when they started in the 1970s, actually seeing them.
Even Kassoon says, I think that one could be real. Who is messaging me again? Everybody, please stop. You guys,
I don't know if it's real or not, but I will say this. I think that there could be something to it because the way it acted in the camera does not look planned.
Kassoon even said he thinks that could be real. Dave, we are out of time already.
Oh my gosh. You guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight on The Thing at the Foot of the Bed. Please remember to join our Facebook group, The Thing at the Foot of the Bed, with Lorilei Potvin and David Hanzel, so you can see some of these things that we were showing on this podcast. We'll probably talk about Bigfoots and some more fun stuff next week. If you'd like to know more about me, you can find me. You can go to my website, theywhispertome.com, or you can follow me on Instagram or Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok at Medium David Hanzel, or you can join my group, The Spirit Experience, on Facebook. Go ahead, Lorilei.
Okay, you guys don't go anywhere if you guys are enjoying watching everything on UPRN. Tonight, I wonder if my computer unplugged. Yeah, all of a sudden my camera's going. Anyways, stay tuned for the second night of the Outer Realm with Michelle DeRoger and Amelia Pisano coming up right next after this. I want to thank you guys all for being here. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Don't shop yourselves all out tomorrow on Black Friday, and we got Cyber Monday. Even though we're in Canada, believe me, they mimic all that. We just don't celebrate Thanksgiving on the same day, which we should. Yeah. Anyways, if you ever want to get a hold of me to book a psychic reading, I do crystal Reiki, I do energy healing, teaching, and mentoring. You can get a hold of me on Facebook.com right now / the Angel Rock. But in the New Year's, what's that, Dave?
That was me yawning.
Okay, sorry. In the new year, I am working on my first course. I'm going to be teaching how to access your psychic abilities and all kinds of stuff like that. I'm going to put it all under one domain name. We'll have a classroom and the whole bit. Still working on that though, and even throw the resin stuff in there with her. So right now, like I said, facebook.com/the Angel Rock, or I'm on all social media platforms. You can always message me. I have 2 groups on Facebook, Paranormal University for all things paranormal, and Angel Rocker Tribe for all things spiritual. And like Dave said, don't forget to join our group, especially with the holidays coming up. If you're kind of quiet over the holidays, hopefully we'll get some time to hang out, and Dave and I go live especially, and I'm hoping Julie and I can go live too. So thank you for being here. And Monday night, remember, solo night, pre-Christmas party on the Angel Rock, 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Get to hang out with just little old me. You guys want to do ratings, you want to do whatever you want to do, you let me know. It's your night. Otherwise, stay tuned for the Outer Realm coming up next. So stay spooky, right, Dave?
That's right. And thank you, Kasoon. Yes. Thank you for coming on without the sleep. That's awesome.
We appreciate that, because I know it's like 3 or 4 a.m. over there in Sri Lanka. So thank you for anybody who does stay up to watch the show live. We appreciate it.
Yes. All right. Are you ready? Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. What's at the foot of your bed?
I think we were off.
So anyway, you guys, stay spooky, and we'll see you next Thursday.
We love you. We'll see you next week. Same time, same space here. You know it. All right. Talk to you later. Love y'all.